the biggest one that comes up for most people is how to stay in the present, especially
Hmm.
nowadays.
Hmm.
Um, that is, we're always looking ahead. What's the next best thing for me, And that happens a lot with golf. You're playing in the middle of your round. Maybe you're having a great front nine, right? You shoot close to even par your first nine. Okay, you still have the back nine to continue to finish up, right? You could totally blow it and double bogey every hole, or you could stay in the present and just take one shot at a time and slow down your mind. And what happens between the shots of, you hit your tee shot and you're walking to the next shot, that's where the trouble happens. It's, okay, well, if I hit this shot on the green and then I make the putt, I get birdie, and then the next hole. So you're not staying in the present. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Um, it's a way to learn how to distract your mind between the walks to each shot. And I mean, literally, I tell people, distract yourself. Look at the mountains. Look at where you are. Look at how beautiful this is. Check out somebody's landscaping. Maybe you want to do that at your house.
Hmm.
um, Look at those garage doors. I wonder who did those.
I'm
um,
always checking them out.
right.
Craft Your Life is a radio show for the tenacious, the bold, and those who refuse to settle for mediocrity. We bring together visionaries, game changers, and relentless go-getters who are crafting their lives, businesses, and relations in pursuit of excellence. If you are ready to shatter limits, embrace the amazing, and live life on your own terms, this show is for you. Each episode delivers actionable insights, inspiring stories, and unfiltered conversations that will ignite your drive to win a life worth dying for. Tune in and get ready to live viciously. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Craft Your Life radio show, where we talk with visionaries, doers, and game changers who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Today's guest is someone who's shaking things up in the world of golf, business, and community right here in Grand Junction. Loren Forney is the founder of Lofo Golf, a brand that's not just about hitting the greens, but about redefining the golf experience altogether. Fostering a laid-back, inclusive golf culture, Loren is proving that golf isn't just for the country club elite. It's for anyone who wants to play, have fun, and connect. We'll talk about her journey as an entrepreneur, the challenges of building a brand from the ground up, and what it takes to bring big ideas to life in a way that actually resonates with people. So whether you're a golfer, a business owner, or just someone who loves a great story about passion, meeting purpose, stick around. You're going to love this one. Loren, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matt. So good to be here. So glad to be here
Yeah,
with you.
I love this. And I love your backdrop. Where are you beaming in from?
Oh, this is my house. This is where I live.
Awesome.
And that's just my huge calendar to keep me on track.
I love it.
Yep, with some words of encouragement as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Loren, I start this question with every podcast, but where did you grow up?
I grew up in the little town of Rifle.
In Rifle. Love it. What was it like growing up in Rifle?
Well, that was 30 years ago, so definitely has changed since then. Very small town. Not much to do, I would say. We just got a Walmart I think in high school. My freshman year of high school, we got a Walmart. So, yeah,
Yeah, big times.
and big, really.
What were you into as a kid?
What was I into?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it was mostly golf.
it was. I
Yeah,
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think golf and rifle in the same context. How did that come about?
I know. I can definitely see you there. There is one golf course. It's called Rifle Creek Golf Course, and it's kind of hidden. It's out towards the Rifle Gap, basically. So it's really a hidden gem. You wouldn't even know it's there unless you actually knew or Google mapped it now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was nothing really else to do. I mean, it's a small town, but sports was huge. I mean, our football team and everything like that. If if you went to Rifle, you pretty much were in some kind of sport. So it was kind of cool to to grow up in a small town like that. And
Yeah.
we walked everywhere, and yeah, it was a good place to live, to grow up in, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you got into golf at a young age. What was it about golf that, um, really attracted you?
Well, I would say that Um, it kind of was bestowed upon me. My parents, my dad kind of played golf growing up, and then my mom, she started playing when I got interested. She ended up working in the golf shop there at Rifle Creek Golf Course. So technically, early mornings, I was going in the car with her. I would get there before sun was up. I would be sleeping until the sun came up, in the car, and then once that happened, I would literally go out and just practice all day long. I think there still are, 2 greens behind hole number 5, and you would just see me out there and chipping and putting. That's literally all
Mm.
I did for until my mom was done, working, or I'd come back in, have a burger, or serve some hot dogs to some of the patrons there, and
Mhm.
it was just a small town, and I loved the people, to be honest. Everybody knew everybody.
Amazing. All right. So give us a little storyline here. Like connect the dots. So you're a PGA professional now. You grew up chipping and putting to spend your days in rifle. And how did we progress from there? What happened, after high school, graduating in rifle? Where did we go? What is the trajectory to become a PGA professional? What does that look like?
Right. Well, I mean, as you can see, if you spend all your time on the golf course growing up, you hopefully become good. So so I got good enough, to where I did win regionals a couple times, and, I almost won state, but not quite,
Okay.
just shy.
Yep.
Uh, However, that did give me enough, momentum to get into college golf and play Division I at Portland State University.
Oh, amazing.
So I played there for 3.5 years and ended up coming back home to finish up my work at Colorado Mesa University. So that's where I graduated, got my degree in psychology, and after golf, after collegiately playing, I decided, do I want to do this professionally and tour, or do I want to teach it? And
Mm.
I have more of a teaching heart than anything, so I said, let's go that route. Then the next two, the fork in the road was, do I want to do LPGA or do I want to do PGA membership? Because those are two separate things.
Hmm.
And just one of my mentors at the time just said, you should go PGA route. It just seems like at that time there was more doors to be opened. Um, and so that's kind of what made the decision for me to go PGA membership.
Yep.
In 2015 is when I started that journey. In 2020, I got my membership.
Amazing. Um, yeah, I have so many questions. So, okay, I guess the one fork is like LPGA, PGA. Um, what is break that down for somebody that kind of knows those acronyms but doesn't really know what that means, and why is that an important decision? And then that membership piece, that's something that you obviously had to work towards and earn.
Yes. So the LPGA, Ladies Professional Golf Association, that's one avenue that women can take to start their pro. I don't know much about it since I did the PGA, but that's kind of one of the roads that women take to become a teaching pro, realistically.
Got it.
It's a credential that you have that, hey, I'm certified to teach, you know? And then PGA is Professional Golf Association, open to men and women. Mostly men are in the PGA. And it does take, I mean, it takes however long. I think the quickest someone did it is a year.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on that. But it does take some time. You have to be full-time in the golf industry somewhere, and then you also have to do a lot of book work on the side, taking your exams. There's 3 levels to it, and so it's a lot of busy work, that's for sure. And there's different ways to do it. You can go to school, go to college, play golf, and do it at the same time.
Mm,
Or like I did, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't have the program in college and I was playing collegiately, so I decided afterwards. So it's almost like I got a master's in golf after college.
yes. Got it. And I can only imagine, so I'm a complete hack golfer. I love getting out on a course and just having that space and chasing a ball around. And when I connect well with the ball, it feels so good, but it's so far and few between. But I can imagine the combination of education, training, and psychology and golf is likely a real powerful combo.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you go out there as you know, as a golfer, you get out there and what are things that you typically say to yourself? They're probably not great. So it's definitely a mental game, I would say, and that's kind of why I decided to go psychology and bring that to my repertoire and use that for, I use that every day for teaching, for sure. There's not a lesson that goes by that I do not bring up the mental side of the game.
Yeah. I can only, I mean, yeah, it's so mental, and especially in a competition realm. Um, give me a little bit more details on just that. Like how does that come up, and how might these experiences be something that we can leverage into the mental game? Because I can only imagine that then that would play in other realms of life, like whether it is building with business or parenting or in relationships. What are some of the, I guess, more common or um, just those instances that bubble up? What do you see out there on the greens?
I think the biggest one that comes up for most people is how to stay in the present, especially
Hmm.
nowadays.
Hmm.
Um, that is we're always looking ahead. What's the next best thing for me? And that happens a lot with golf. You're playing in the middle of your round. Maybe you're having a great front nine, right? You shoot close to even par your first nine. Okay, you still have the back nine to continue to finish up, right? You could totally blow it and double bogey every hole, or you could stay in the present and just take one shot at a time and slow down your mind and what happens between the shots of, you hit your tee shot and you're walking to the next shot. That's where the trouble happens. It's okay. Well, if I hit this shot on the green and then I make the putt, I get birdie, and then the next hole. So you're not staying in the present. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Um, it's a way to learn how to distract your mind between the walks to each shot. And I mean, literally, I tell people, distract yourself. Look at the mountains. Look at where you are. Look at how beautiful this is. Check out somebody's landscaping. Maybe you want to do that at your house.
Hmm.
Um, Look at those garage doors. I wonder who did those.
I'm
um,
always checking them out.
right. So literally, I tell people, distract yourself, stay in the moment, and once you get over the ball, that's when you commit. And hopefully that practice will help you stay in the present and enhance your score later on without diving too far forward, I should say.
Fascinating. I'm trying to break that down because my mind is hearing that word distraction, and that, I mean, in some ways that could take away from that presence, but you're using that as more of like kind of take time to smell the roses type of distraction. Like look around,
Yeah.
like be where your feet are at, check out the scenery. Don't obsess or worry about the next 40 shots.
Yeah, it's quieting that inner talk, right?
Mm.
That person that's saying that person's that's starting to get anxious about what's coming next. So
Ooh,
I guess that's where the distraction comes with to stay where you are and not let that person take over. Does that make sense?
it does. It does. And I mean, okay, let's say, there's a listener out here and they're like, all right, maybe they're a never ever golfer. Maybe they're, just a once or twice a year style golfer and they want to get to the next level. They want to maybe take it on and make some commitments. What might that progression look like? And I'm interested in, the psychology component as well as some of just physical mechanics. But can you walk us through like what might it look like to work with Lofo and kind of engage and I guess speak into like what levels you also work in. Because I'm personally curious.
Well, like you said, it kind of depends on the person, where they're coming from. Are they a brand new golfer who's never held a golf club in a day in their life? So
Uh-huh.
that person I would start differently than somebody who's at least, maybe they have a handicap. Maybe they played enough to establish a handicap, or maybe they've just played. Sometimes I just ask them, how many rounds of golf have you played in your lifetime? They say, three rounds. It's like, okay, well, what are those scores like? How do you keep score? Stuff like that. So I kind of get to know the individual first and where the game is. But ideally, I would get somebody who's an intermediate golfer, right? They play once a week or something like that, or maybe it's 2 times out of the month. Okay, I'd say that is a golfer, right? And they're intermediate. And so what I would like to do with them is actually get them on the golf course, because what happens when you get someone in a pressure moment? All their bad habits come out. That's what I wanna
Yeah.
see. I
Yeah.
wanna see your bad habits. I don't wanna see the good shots, or, I hope I see good shots, but sometimes what happens when I bring them out to the range, they're like, "Oh, man, I hit these so good. You should just be with me all the time." And I'm like, "Oh, that's why I wanna take you out where the pressure is on the golf course, see where are the areas that we need to focus on to, uh, get you better quicker." And typically, that's the short game. The short game is where most people lose their shots. They can hit their drive pretty well. They get near the green and then 5 shots out the door. So it's like, okay, that's what we need to focus on for our next lesson. And then I come up with an improvement plan based on that.
Yeah. Got it.
Hey everybody, this is Luke from Cooler Garage Doors. Just want to take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, Sommer Garage Door Openers. In our opinion, Sommers are the highest quality product on the market today. We recommend them for all of our residential garage door installs because of the variety of features they include, such as Wi-Fi connectivity and safety features such as a fixed chain, which moves along a secure rail to ensure your garage door opens quietly and safely. Click on the link in the description to learn more about Sommer Garage Door Openers.
Yeah, that short game. There's some type of life analogy that I want to extract out of there, but um, it's so fun to hit balls off of a tee, and yet it's the chipping and putting that you probably spent hours doing in the back of the 5 hole.
Yes. Well, where do people spend the most of their time practicing? On the range, right?
Totally. Yeah.
I always tell people 2-to-1 ratio. If you're gonna spend 30 minutes on the range, you need to spend at least an hour and a half chipping and putting if you're gonna do that.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. What are some of the challenges that you faced in your journey? Whether it's on the golf course, whether it's like putting together Lofo, and and um, how have you leveraged your experiences through the game of golf in overcoming those challenges?
That's a great question. I would say I've experienced a lot of, ups and downs as most people have in their journey in their career and everything. And really what came to be for Lofo Golf is, because I had no idea this was gonna happen, right?
Hmm.
This just started last year.
Amazing.
Um, I was on the trajectory of becoming a head pro. After I got my membership in 2020, I was like, "Okay, I've got this. I might as well become the big honcho." and and really uh, start taking care of a golf course from the daily operations, tournaments, merchandising, all of that. I thought that's what I want to do, right? Well, I finally got the opportunity in Austin, Texas. In I want to say 20, right after that in 2021 is when I decided to make that move. And I made it to the top. And I finally found out for me anyways, that the grass wasn't always greener, right?
Hmm.
That's a typical thing. The
Yes.
grass is greener where you water it.
Yes.
But I just found out that I wasn't in love with what I thought it was gonna be like. Some pros can make it exactly what it wants to be, what they want it to be. Um, but for me, I missed being outdoors, engaging with people, and teaching golf. I missed bringing the beginners out to me and showing them this passion that I have for this game, right? And not all of it was terrible. I'm not trying to say that. There was definitely some great things. I got to meet some great people and mentors some young kids in the golf industry as well, and see them how they've developed. So that was a really good time for me as a head pro.
Uh-huh.
Then I decided after 2 years or something like that, my timeline's gonna be all crazy, but I decided I want to move back home. I want to go back to my roots and really figure out what it is that, brought me to golf. So I kind of took a step back and took a position that just made me kind of relax and figure some things out. And it brought me back home. So that was my objective at that point. Little did I know that position was going to be eliminated later on, and that happened right before Christmas, actually, in 2023. So after some crying and some praying, I was like, "What am I supposed to do now?" Well, I this is great. I just sat down, turned everything off. Right, I went into my present. I was like, let's figure this out. What is it right now that I love about golf? And I'm 5 months pregnant in my new apartment, and I'm just writing down, okay, I love the short game. That's my favorite part of the golf. I
Hmm.
love to be on the golf course playing golf. I love to develop juniors in the golf industry, whether it's playing golf or getting them in the golf industry like I did myself. And for women, I just love teaching women. It's just something about it, being a woman myself, I know how the body works, I guess. And it's just easier for me.
Yeah.
And so those were the things, and you can see I wrote them down on my dream job behind me. That's my list, and I love programs, so that's my list of my dream job. And then finally, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna develop something like this that caters to all of these thoughts that I have, and hopefully it works." And Lofo Golf came into existence on January 31st when I got my LLC.
Mhm.
And one more quick story about Lofo is I got that name back in 2012 or 11 from one of my teammates at Portland State. She called me Lofo. That's my nickname.
Love it.
And literally, it just stuck the entire time. Even as a head pro, people called me Lofo. And so I took that, and that's where my name came from. And I also have that logo. That logo came to be in 2015. Somebody made that logo for me. So, um, yeah, that's how it all ended up, and
Amazing.
lots of ups and downs. But again, it all, worked out at the end.
Yes. I love that. What a cool story.
Yeah.
I also saw somewhere in one of my preps that Lofo was love for golf.
Yes. Now that was the after fact, the Lofo thing. I was like, okay, I can just use my nickname. And then later on, I was like, that's kind of like love for golf. I could just use that. So that kind of ended up being the tagline to most of
Yeah.
why we do what we do.
I I love your story, and I love the pieces, and I wanna extract a couple because, there's some listeners out here that, should likely pull up their pen and paper because you just gave a really short little master class on crafting. Basically, there's a moment of visualization, there's a moment of really getting present and attaching to, um, I might call it spirit, passion, love. Like, there's I believe that there's certain reasons why we're here. And we don't always see them in the moment, but they kind of open up to us as we explore and move forward in life. And having the presence to kind of write those things down and to map it out and then take some step by steps and have the poise and reflection to see how our past history has built up into our current experience and gifts and talents, and how might we leverage those into um, the next vehicle, right? And the next pursuit. Because there's pivots all the time in life. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. That's what keeps life interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long
Absolutely.
as you keep on getting back up. I think that's the most important thing. That's what I try to teach my juniors when we do our camps. Um, failure is okay. It's gonna happen actually. But the most important thing is what you do afterwards to get you back up and try again and not give up.
Yeah. That's probably got to be one of the more profound lessons that golf can bring because I mean what I'm hearing and what I think I know is it doesn't matter how good one is in golf. It could be, the top player ever, and there's still going to be really crappy shots and really crappy holes.
Oh yes.
Like, it's just one of those games that it's so
And
humbling.
it's all perception, right? It's like somebody's Tiger Woods' bad shot for him. It's not gonna be that's a good shot for me.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's all relative. Amazing.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Amazing. Lauren, for anybody that wants to pursue golf, that wants to connect with you, how do we connect? Where do we find you?
Yeah, I'm active on Facebook and Instagram for Lofo Golf, and then also PGA Coach. PGAcoach.com is really my main website to get a lesson. If you're interested to get a lesson, play on course, or just any of the programs that I have going on. I've got a lot of women's programs right now. And then summer hits, I'm gonna go all juniors pretty much. And then
Awesome.
in the fall, I'll probably do some family golf and junior golf and stuff like that, as well as some women's golf programs. So it all kind of mumbles together in the fall.
Love it.
This year's a little different than last year, to be honest with you. Last year, I mean, I had a newborn, so I couldn't do as much. But this year, I've got a lot more programming to do, so it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
very fun. And
Yeah,
we'll include your socials and that link to
cool.
PGA Coach in our show notes. So for listeners that are local and have interest, definitely reach out and check it out. And if you're not local, follow Lauren and watch the story unfold. Do you have a favorite course, or do you go to multiple courses?
Favorite course here in town?
Okay,
Well, I
yeah, no,
mostly
let's answer that two ways. Yeah, favorite course here in town, and then favorite course ever.
okay. So Chipeta Golf Course is just so you know, Chipeta Golf Course is where I teach out of mostly.
Awesome.
Just so people know that. And then my favorite course in town, I'm gonna have to say if we're just keeping it at Grand Junction because I love my Rifle Creek Golf Course, I would have to say Redlands Mesa is it's my kind of course because it's the goofy golf. You get bad breaks if you hit it in the fairway, and you get good breaks when you don't.
Got
I
it.
love that kind of golf. Um, and then my favorite golf course of all time, oh gosh, I'm gonna be, kind of biased because I worked there, is Pine Needles in North Carolina. It's in the Pinehurst area, and it's just a true Donald Ross golf course, and I love it. And if you're not in the fairway, you're in the pine straw. And pine straw is so fun to hit out of. Like, if you haven't done it, just you gotta do it at least once in your life.
I love it. That's amazing. I just had so I just moved from Gunnison over this summer. So this is my first Grand Junction winter living here. Um, and I was shocked. It was a number of weeks ago, but it was either late December, early January. I got called out to Chipeta to work on some garage doors and tune them up. And they were the ones that are on the course. So um they set me up with a golf cart and I put my tools in it. And so I had a new rig for the service vehicle and I'm cruising around the golf course. And I was shocked that people were playing golf. It was like 40 degrees and it was sunny. So I was like, cool, but it was cold. And I just, I had no idea that golf would be year round, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
And just kind of
especially
fun.
this year without any snow, it's been great.
Yeah, no joke. Lauren, awesome. I love the story. Congrats on Lofo, and I'm excited to see where you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt, so much. I really appreciate it. It's been fun talking.
Absolutely. We will talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would really appreciate it if you would help us continue the momentum that we have in subscribing, sharing, and liking our show. Let's extract really cool conversations with amazing people that are out crafting amazing businesses, relationships, lifestyles. So let's grow this thing together and just know that you are appreciated.